My wife told everyone I abandoned her, but in reality, she faked being a grieving widow after my accidental death so she could move in with her affair partner. 3 months later, I caught them on a luxury vacation, sent flowers to their hotel room with a card that said, "See you at the funeral," and made sure the next obituary anyone read was for her social life and his career. I told everyone my wife died in a car accident 3 months ago. Right now I'm sitting in a Maldives resort suite, watching my girlfriend sleep while holding a bouquet of white lilies with a card that says "See you at the funeral." My hands won't stop shaking because I know exactly whose handwriting this is. The affair started 14 months ago at my firm's Christmas party. Valentina was our new marketing director, 12 years younger, the kind of woman who wore red lipstick like a weapon and laughed like she knew exactly what you were thinking. Rebecca was home with our kids, probably already asleep by 9 after her third glass of wine. When Valentina asked if my wife would mind me staying for another drink, I said, she wouldn't notice if I didn't come home at all. It was supposed to be a joke. Valentina didn't laugh. She just said, "Prove it." I didn't go home until 3 a.m. that night. Rebecca was exactly where I knew she'd be, sprawled across her side of the bed, sleeping pills on the nightstand, face mask still on. I stood there watching her sleep, this woman I'd loved since college, who'd given me 3 beautiful kids, who still packed my lunch every morning but couldn't remember the last time she touched me without flinching. Valentina had touched me. Really touched me. Made me feel like something worth wanting instead of just another chore on Rebecca's endless list. The lies started small. Client dinners that didn't exist. Golf games that lasted 8 hours. My wedding ring lived in my car's center console more than on my finger. Our teenage sons noticed first. "Why do you smell different?" Tyler asked once. "Why are you suddenly going to the gym?" I told them I was trying to be healthier, maybe inspire their mother to join me. They shrugged. "Mom's just tired, Dad. She does everything for us." That's when I realized they'd already chosen their side in a war they didn't know was coming. Valentina filled my head with poison disguised as champagne. "You're wasting your best years on a woman who treats you like a paycheck," she'd whisper while we lay in hotel beds paid for with cash. "You deserve someone who desires you, not just tolerates you." She painted pictures of a life where I wasn't just a walking ATM, where I was the hero instead of the villain in Rebecca's daily complaints to her sister. I started researching divorce lawyers, calculating child support, imagining introducing Valentina to my boys after a respectful mourning period. But the numbers were brutal. 23 years of marriage in a no-fault state meant splitting everything. The house I'd paid for. The retirement accounts. College funds. Rebecca would get primary custody, guaranteed, since she'd been the stay-at-home parent for 15 years. I'd be a 45-year-old man starting over with half of what I'd built, paying alimony until I died while Valentina waited for me to level up financially again. Unless, Valentina said one night, running her nails down my chest, something happened to her. People die all the time. Accidents. Overdoses. Nobody would question it. I laughed it off, but the seed was planted. Rebecca's wine and Ambien combination. Her insistence on driving even after drinking. How easy it would be to just increase her doses slightly. Make her prescriptions disappear. Let her refill them too early. Valentina knew someone who could make sure the car had problems. Nothing traceable. Just tragic brake failure on that curve near the reservoir. The morning Rebecca left for her last girls' weekend, she kissed me goodbye like always. Quick peck, already scrolling through her phone. "Love you," she mumbled, already walking away. I said it back, meaning it in that complicated way you can love someone and still want them gone. The boys hugged her at the door. She promised to bring back their favorite cookies from that bakery upstate. I waited 12 hours after she should have arrived before calling the police. My voice shook perfectly. The tears were real because some part of me was crying for the woman she used to be, the marriage we could have had if either of us had tried harder. The search lasted 2 days. They found the car in the reservoir, exactly where it was supposed to be. Her body still strapped in. The police said she must have missed the turn, maybe drowsy from the wine they found in her system. Rebecca's sister Lauren flew in immediately, took over everything, treated me like shattered glass. The boys were destroyed. Tyler wouldn't speak. Mason wouldn't leave his room. Our youngest, Jake, kept asking when mommy was coming back. I held them while they sobbed, feeling Valentina's texts burning in my hidden phone. "You're doing amazing, baby. Just a little longer." The memorial service was perfect. Rebecca's book club spoke about her dedication. Her mother, who always preferred me to her own daughter, held my hand throughout. I wore the black suit she'd bought me for our anniversary 10 years ago, the one I'd never worn because we never went anywhere worth wearing it. My eulogy was about the life we'd built, the woman who gave me everything except her passion. Everyone cried. Valentina watched from the back row, just another colleague paying respects. I waited exactly 10 weeks before being seen in public with Valentina. A coffee shop first. Then dinner. "He's moving on so fast," people whispered, but nobody questioned it. Widowers are allowed to grieve differently. By month 3, Valentina was parking overnight. The boys hated her instinctively. Mom's barely gone and you're already replacing her? Tyler screamed. I fed them lines about loneliness, about their mother wanting me to be happy, about Valentina just being a friend who understood loss. They moved in with Rebecca's mother temporarily. I let them go, thinking time would heal everything. This trip was supposed to be our victory lap. The insurance payout had cleared. Valentina and I were planning to move to Milan, start fresh where nobody knew our story. I'd been learning Italian, looking at apartments near the Duomo. We'd made love on the beach last night, champagne making me dizzy, her promising we'd never be boring, never be routine, never be like Rebecca and I were. The flowers arrived 10 minutes ago. The card is in Rebecca's handwriting. Not similar. Exact. Down to the way she loops her L's. My phone is exploding with notifications I'm afraid to check. Valentina is stirring, asking who is at the door. There's an envelope being slid under it right now, photos spilling out. Photos of Valentina and me from a year ago. From 6 months ago. From the night before Rebecca left. There's one of me tampering with her brake line, timestamp visible on a security camera I didn't know existed. The door handle is turning with a keycard that shouldn't exist. I know who's about to walk in. I know my life is over. Valentina is sitting up now, seeing my face, reaching for the flowers, reading the card. Her face is changing from confusion to horror to rage. What did you do? She's asking. But we both know exactly what I did. And now, somehow, Rebecca knows too. Rebecca had been watching everything for 8 months before her death. The PI she hired had documented every hotel visit, every lie, every time I'd kiss the boys goodnight with another woman's perfume still on my skin. She'd planted cameras I never found, trackers I never suspected. The girls' weekend was theater. She'd never even left the state. While I was crying for the cameras, she was in a motel room 30 miles away, watching me perform grief on a live stream from our doorbell camera, building a case that would destroy me so thoroughly that recovery would be impossible. She walked into that resort room like she'd been resurrected, except she'd never been dead. Valentina lunged at her, but Rebecca just stepped aside, let her crash into the wall. He told me you were dead. Valentina screamed. Rebecca laughed, actually laughed. And you believed him? You thought a man who'd betrayed 23 years of marriage wouldn't lie to you too? That's when Valentina looked at me, really looked, and saw me for what I was. The kind of man who could hold his grieving sons while texting his mistress. Her face changed from anger to disgust to something worse, fear. Rebecca had copies of everything. My fake grief performance had been edited into a compilation video she'd sent to every contact in my phone. The insurance fraud alone would put me in prison, but that wasn't enough for her. She'd found things I didn't know existed. Valentina's husband, for starters. 3 kids under 12. A boyfriend in Vegas. Embezzlement from 4 previous companies that had quietly let her go. Rebecca didn't just expose our affair, she exposed Valentina as a serial predator who targeted married men for money. The FBI was already waiting at the airport. Valentina turned on me instantly. Said I'd seduced her, threatened her, that I'd planned Rebecca's murder alone. She had lawyers on the phone before Rebecca finished talking, throwing me under every bus she could find. He's insane, she kept saying. He said she was abusive. Said he feared for his life. I thought I was helping him escape. Rebecca recorded it all, sent it to my sons as Valentina spoke. I watched my phone light up with their messages, each one a knife, monster. Psychopath. We never want to see you again. Mom's alive and you're dead to us. The hotel bill was $47,000 for the week. Valentina had already vanished when security arrived. My cards were frozen. Rebecca had timed it perfectly. I sat in that lobby for 6 hours while they sorted things out, watching honeymooners stare, hearing whispers, seeing phones pointed at me. Someone posted it on TikTok. Fake widower caught in paradise. 4 million views in 3 hours. The comments were brutal. People found my Facebook, my son's Instagrams, my father's obituary from 5 years ago and made memes about how he was lucky to die before seeing what I became. Lauren, Rebecca's sister, was the one who picked me up from the airport. Not to help. To serve papers. Divorce, criminal charges, civil suits, restraining orders from my own children. Rebecca wanted to forgive you, she said, not looking at me. Even after everything. But then she found out about the breaks. You really tried to kill her, didn't you? I couldn't answer. We both knew I had. She could have died. Actually died. For what? So you could play bachelor with that parasite? The trial was a massacre. Rebecca's lawyer painted me as a black widower in training. The prosecutor had recordings of me researching how car accidents in water were investigated. My sons testified against me, Tyler breaking down when he described finding my affair journal where I'd written about wishing Rebecca would just disappear. The jury deliberated for 30 minutes. Fraud. Conspiracy. Attempted murder. The judge gave me 15 years, eligible for parole in 8. You murdered your family while they were still alive, she said. That's almost worse than what you tried to do to your wife. Prison is where I learned what Valentina really was. Her ex-husband wrote me. Said I was victim number 6 that he knew about. She had a pattern: find a bored husband, make him feel virile, convince him to leave or eliminate his wife, take half the money, disappear. She'd done it in Chicago, Denver, Miami. I was just the first one stupid enough to actually try murder. He sent photos of all of us, her collection of desperate men who'd destroyed our lives for a con artist with a perfect body and better lies. We looked interchangeable. Mid-40s, gym fit, empty-eyed. The kind of men who posted motivational quotes about grinding harder while giving our families nothing. I got out after 8 years. My sons didn't come. Rebecca had remarried a man named Christopher who was everything I wasn't: present, honest, grateful. He sent me a letter once. Said he was sorry for what happened but thanked me for teaching Rebecca she deserved better. Included a photo of their family vacation. My boys calling him dad. Rebecca looking at him the way she used to look at me before I stopped looking back. They had a daughter, maybe 4 in the photo, Rebecca's eyes and Christopher's smile. The life I threw away for Valentina's body against mine in hotel rooms that all looked the same. I work at a warehouse now, night shifts where nobody asks questions. My name tag says Mike because I can't stand hearing my real name anymore. Sometimes women flirt, usually married ones, wedding rings turned backward like I wouldn't notice. I see their husbands in their wallpapers when they pay for shipping, tired men who don't know their wives are already gone. I want to warn them, but what would I say? That I'm a cautionary tale in steel-toed boots and a reflective vest? That I killed a good woman's love for a bad woman's attention and ended up with neither? My sons are all grown now. Tyler got married last year. I found out on LinkedIn. Mason has a baby. I saw it on Lauren's Facebook page. They named her Rebecca. In the photos, my ex-wife holds her granddaughter like she's made of gold, the same way she held our boys when they were born. Christopher is there, arm around Mason, wearing the grandfather name that should have been mine. They look like a family. They are a family. The family I had and torched because I was bored, and Valentina knew exactly what to say to bored men. Valentina died last year. Another man's wife caught up with her in Cabo. Pushed her off a balcony after finding evidence of her newest con. I felt nothing when I read about it. Not satisfaction. Not sadness. Just the hollow echo of a man who destroyed everything for a woman who never existed. The Valentina I loved was a character she played, and I was stupid enough to give her a standing ovation that cost me everything real. Sometimes I dream about that morning Rebecca left for her trip. In the dream, I stop her. Tell her I'm having an affair. Tell her I'm lost. Tell her I need help. She puts down her phone, really looks at me for the first time in years, and we both start crying. We go to therapy. We fix it. We fight for it. We remember why we chose each other. But then I wake up in my studio apartment that smells like motor oil and weed from the unit next door, and I remember that Rebecca did survive. She survived me. She thrived without me. The only thing that died that day was the part of her that loved me. I am the cautionary tale fathers tell their sons. The reason women screenshot text messages. The proof that boring marriages are better than exciting destructions. When men at work complain about their wives, I want to shake them. She's there, I want to scream. She's real and she's there, and that's everything. But I just nod and watch them text someone who isn't their wife, and I see myself 8 years ago, thinking I deserved better while becoming so much worse. The last thing Rebecca ever said to me was at the sentencing. She walked past, close enough that I could smell her perfume, the same one she'd worn for 20 years. I loved you, she said. Not I love you. Loved. Past tense. Permanent. I loved you and you killed me anyway. Then she walked away, toward Christopher, toward our sons, toward the life I had, and threw away like it was nothing. It wasn't nothing. It was everything. And now I'm nothing, loading trucks for people who call me buddy and don't know I'm a monster in work boots, counting down the days until my heart stops beating and I can stop remembering what it felt like to be loved by a good woman I tried to murder for a bad woman who never existed. I'm the man who had everything and burned it down for an orgasm and a lie. I'm the reason my sons have attachment issues. I'm the example their therapists use. I'm the ghost at my own funeral, watching everyone move on like I never mattered because, in the end, I didn't. Not to Valentina. Not to Rebecca. Not to my boys. Not even to myself. I tried to kill my wife and ended up only killing myself. She lived. I'm the one who died. And I deserve to be this dead.